I'd like to take this moment to acknowledge the contributions from each of my fellow councillor colleagues. We're a team. We've got another 2.5 years of working together as a team, and not one of us has taken this decision today lightly. So I commend you all for the work and effort that you've put in and where we are about to get to. It's crucial today that we send a strong signal to the ongoing confidence of this project. It's a bit like a plate of bacon and eggs. You're either an egg or a bacon. You're committed or you're involved. And we need to be committed. We need to be the bacon on the plate. We need to send a strong signal of confidence to our fellow farmers, our fellow investors and our fellow stakeholders, and we need to lead from the front for our community. This is a governance decision. It's not a gearbox decision. I fully acknowledge that we're going to continue to be part of this process as we go forward. We're talking about being the key cornerstone investors for $80 million or up to, and at the end of the day, this project will rise and fall on its commercial merits. In concluding, I'd like to read from this beautiful Opua book, and I'm sure we'll have our own one day. And I have an intro here from Tom Henderson, and he writes with a tremendous amount of pride and satisfaction. During a very serious drought throughout South Canterbury in 1982, when rivers were drying up, irrigation development was in its infancy, and our region was struggling economically, it was decided to support a proposal to obtain stored water, in this case from Lake Tekapo. This would create sustainability for the future benefit of the whole community, environmentally, economically and socially. I supported this action because I felt if our region was to have a prosperous future, it had to come from the land. Likewise, I support this action today, and if I go to the final word in this beautiful book, it was a damn good idea. I'm sure we'll be right there behind this in years to come. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you. Thank you. Took the words right out of my mouth. I'm going to put the motion. All those in favour, please raise your hand. And against. The motion is carried. Thank you. And Mr. Moy had his hand up too, but I didn't count it. So. Okay, well, we're going to take a short break now. Well, I am, but I'm going to suggest, Councillor Scott, perhaps you could take us into through the minutes, etc. I've been asked to go and attend a press conference, which I'll go and do. So if you could resume the meeting. Thank you, everyone, for your respect and your patience, and as I say, you're always welcome back. So. You'd like a division on that vote? So, hang on, before everyone goes, can we, Councillor Belford, there's been a division called for, so all those in favour, please raise your hand. Division of the vote, so it's recorded. Who voted which way? All those in favour and against? Carried. No, division wasn't called for, it's a process thing. Over here.
Okay, councillors, can we get back to the meeting? We seem to have lost one councillor, but we'll go back to agenda item 3, please, confirmation of the minutes. Right. Drew? Right, if I can.
So, do you want to do the minutes?
We start with the first lot. Can we start with the first lot of minutes, please? Confirmation of the minutes on the 4th and 5th of June. I'll go through for amendments. Page 2, page 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, I'm assuming everyone has actually read them, 17, 18, 19, pardon? 19, 20. Which case, is there anyone prepared to move those are true and accurate record? Thank you, Councillor Pipe. And second by Councillor Graham. All those in favour say aye. Aye. Against? Carried. I'll go through the second lot for amendments and then I'll come back and do matters arising from both of them. Thank you. So the 16th and 17th of June. Luckily, a shorter set, page 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. Anyone is prepared to move those? Councillor Dick, thank you, and Councillor Pike, thank you. All those in favour say aye. Aye. Against? Carried. Right, matters arising. We'll go through the minutes of the meeting of the annual plan consultation. Are there any matters arising from those? No, and then we'll move then to the matters arising from the Ruataniwha water storage project hearings. Are there any matters arising from those? Right, and there are no matters arising. So we'll move then to agenda item 5, follow-ups from the previous council meetings on agenda item 5, page 3 and 5. Have the staff got any comments on any of those?
Yeah, thank you, Madam Chair. Yeah, the first one there is submissions, relates to submissions on the draft annual plan. The action item was to do with the charge-out rates in the resource management charges. I think that was relating to consent compliance. There's no due date down there, but it certainly hasn't been done at the moment, and it will be done in the next few months. We need to do an analysis and a comparative with other councils, so it takes a little bit of time. So we'll need to put a date in for you for the next meeting.
Would it be helpful if it was limited to charges of other councils in Hawke's Bay, or are you looking to do comparisons with regional councils?
It would be regional councils for resource management charging. Thank you, Councillor. Conflict of interest declarations. That's been actioned by Helen Codlin, and a memo has been sent to councillors dealing with that one plan. I assume you've all got it?
Yes.
Okay.
That was received by everyone?
Yep. Mike 80 is down for the next action point. It's written. Good. Thank you, Mike. Minor items. Business Hawke's Bay will be presenting on the workshop on the 4th of July, so that action is pending. It's still on page 5. That's the last one on page 5.
Okay,
there was a question from
sorry, if I
Councillor
would just go back to the previous one on the joint committee. Mike, do you have a date for our first meeting yet?
No, I'll only be sort of seeking dates once I have got clear, report back from Hastings as to who their representatives are. So, and I understand it's this week sometime, but I'm not sure whether or not it's today that they are meeting.
Question from Councillor Barker.
With reference to the meeting on 4 July, I relied on a long, reasonable range of forward projected dates for the Regional Council to plan a break. So the week that when I looked at the time, I looked at had nothing on it that week. So I have made plans based on there being no meeting that week. Regrettably, I'll have to put my apology in for the 4th. Can I say for Business Hawke's Bay, I'm unhappy not being able to be there because I think there's a number of really tough questions we have to ask them, and I hope that the questions get asked of them in my absence.
Any other questions relating to that paper? And I do have one that the attached, which is not really follow-ups on the attached Lagoima. Can someone answer why a previous staff member who is now working for consultancy needed to do it through Lagoima?
Which one?
Ms. Letikas.
I can't answer why it was logged as Lagoima. I guess in terms of following strict process, any request to council for information is classified a Lagoima request. So I
but
guess
if it was council to council, it wouldn't be. So if she was working for a local authority, it would be.
No, but as I understand it, she made the request in her capacity as a consultant for BTW South.
Okay, thank you. Yes, Councillor here.
With regard to these Lagoima requests, we have an individual who's named in them who is he's publicly malicious and he's maligning our chair in particular. I'm sure there's many others who are feeling the wrath of his angst, and I'm wondering what he's been charged for all of these Lagoima requests. Are the ratepayers funding these ongoing requests, and how obliged are we to support an individual who's clearly undermining this council?
Mr. Drew,
so I can perhaps jump in there and answer that. So we are sort of looking at our options in terms of responding to it, because the Act certainly gives us the ability to consider multiple requests in short succession as one request, and council has a policy of providing information, an hour's worth of information for nothing, and then recovering costs subsequent to that. So we are looking at the best way to manage that. And should it be a significant process to compile the information and provide it, council's policy has been in the past to provide an estimate of those costs and require payment for that up front before beginning the work to compile it.
I don't support ongoing ratepayer funding for campaigns of this nature.
do you have a question, Councillor?
I just have a question. Would there be any circumstances under which council would make a decision to treat an inquiry under the Local Government and Official Information and Meeting Act as different from any general inquiry on the basis of an assumed or perceived viewpoint on the individual? Or should the council consider all Information Act requests in a totally neutral manner?
We certainly consider them all in a very neutral manner, and where possible we encourage staff to treat requests for information as Lagoima requests, so that we can adequately track them and report this sort of information back to council in terms of the level of information requests coming to us. So we would treat one individual the same as the next in terms of following a consistent process. Sorry? We certainly do, and like I say, there is a succession of them all that have come basically in short order that relate to the same subject. So we're looking at the options of the most efficient way of dealing with these requests.
Thank you. So no further questions on this report. We'll move to the recommendation on page 3. Thank you, Councillor Dick. Seconded. Councillor Pike, thank you. All those in favour, put the motion if there's no speakers. All those in favour say aye. Against? Carried. We move to March.